All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division where Terence Crawford has made a statement about the Errol Spence Jr. fight, and on his face, it's something that I got to say that I appreciate because it shows that he has some understanding about what the reality is in his situation with Errol and the rematch. At the same time, and more than likely the weight class that it's going to be at. But at the same time, I have to say that my opinion about whether I want that rematch to take place at this point is kind of shifting. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where Terence Crawford was spotted at Outtown and gave a short interview about what's going on with the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford rematch. And depending on what your outlook is, it could be good news, and also read into it a little bit. I think that it is probably good news for Errol Spence Jr. because Terence is definitely saying that he knows that he has to make this rematch, and that goes a long way. And hopefully what it'll wind up being is for both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence as a fight at 154 pounds. However, I have to say that I probably myself would prefer it not to happen at this point, and I'll let you know why. But before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel and to my life personally. So thank you guys very much. Even the people that are out here saying a lot of crazy stuff and trying to kick the dog in the comment section, thank you too for watching the video. I appreciate you. I appreciate the conversation. Let's get into this. Terence Crawford was walking out of a store and got a camera put in his face and actually, man, I got to tell you, he behaved in a fashion which I thought was very, very professional. And it was a reflection on him where I kind of showed a side of him just in a brief conversation that I got to tell you, man, that I like. And it was a guy that said something to the effect of, because you know me, I mean, I'm not going to take somebody else's footage and put it on the camera, somebody else's footage. However, guy said, hey, man, basically said, hey, you know, what's going on with the fight with Errol Spence Jr. and said something to the effect of, man, does he not want it because of how bad you beat his ASS, right? Now, Terence Crawford, all Terence Crawford did was kind of do like a little short, kind of like a little half giggle. But then he treated Errol Spence Jr. with the respect that he should, which is to say, look, man, he's got a rematch clause, and so we're going to run it back because he has the right to do it. So we're going to run it back, you know, so confirming that the fight is going to get run back. Right now, the question, though, is, and I think the only question, there's two questions about it. Three questions about it. One is, you know, what network is it going to be on? Because Showtime Boxing is going out of business at the end of 2023. And that's no longer reports. Those are facts, right? It was announced by Paramount Plus. It is what it is. That's the case, right? So we know that it's not going to be on Showtime. So what network is going to have it? So, and then the second question is, what weight class would it be in? Errol Spence is going to want the fight at 154. Terence Crawford wants to move to 154 and up anyway. But for some reason, Steve Nelson of his camp said, Steven So-Cold Nelson said that he didn't believe that they wanted the fight at 147 because they don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. at all. They don't believe the fight is going to make any money and it's a waste of time. right? Because of the lopsided nature in which the fight, the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight, took place. So, don't know what weight class it is for sure, but I think more than likely it's going to be at 154 pounds. But for me, the third question is really, considering the first two, the network and the Errol's need to go to 154. I would probably prefer to see that fight, Errol Spence Jr. get another fight at 154 before they do that. Because I think if he's able to fight at 154 pounds before they do that, then he can get a little bit more acclimated to his body, give himself some more time. I don't know if he could really find anybody up there, maybe short of Erislandy. Well, Erislandy Lars at 160, who's a southpaw. But whoever he fights, give him time to fight a southpaw, right? A southpaw. And which honestly, man, didn't have an opportunity. He would have had an opportunity to do in his last fight if his last fight had been against Manny Pacquiao, but wasn't because it was Yordenis Ugas. Gives him a little bit more chance to get his bearings underneath him at 154, and for him to kind of adjust and get back in the getting the winning column, and really spend time preparing for Terence Crawford in a fight. If he goes on a winning streak, especially if he winds up knocking people out, man, people will probably be more people would probably be interested in the fight, because I do believe that there's there's obviously a lot of people that are saying they don't want to see the fight. I don't really believe them, because I think that their morbid curiosity, at the very least, is going to lead them into watching the fight. I don't see a lot of people had bought the fight regardless, right? But if Terence Crawford fight some other people, you're more than likely going to find out that Terence Crawford's pay-per-views are not going to sell like people would suspect that they would sell at this point in time in his career. And it kind of gives Errol more leverage in the whole situation if he takes a couple more fights. And one of the things that I really have always said I didn't agree with Errol, and the reason, I'm not saying that I'm not basing my disagreement on like saying that, oh man, I have more experience or more knowledge than Errol Spence does in the matter, because I don't. However, I know that pretty much every other boxing trainer and all those other people basically say they disagree with Errol Spence Jr., where they say, look, man, you got to stay active. The best way that you can be at your best is to be active. And Errol has not been active in years. He's been fighting less than one time a year. Terence Crawford himself isn't very particularly active, but Errol is to the point of being inactive. And I don't think you should come off of being inactive, then go into a fight and have it go that poorly, and then go right back in with the guy. I think he needs to adjust his concept of, I don't want to fight tune-ups. Man, that may be good for your ego, but it's bad for your skill set. And I just don't think he can afford to have anything bad for his skill set going on before he fights Errol Spence, before he fights Terence Crawford for the second time. I really and truly just do not believe that he has the leeway to do that. He needs to fight another fight. He needs to stay active if he's going to continue to fight. And I think in the long run, I think that would be the better plan for him. But at the same time, he's got to do what he's got to do. More than likely, that fight with Terence Crawford is the next big money fight. And if he's truly trying to cash out, like T. Orlando Pearson says, hey, then, man, it's going to be what it is. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.